It started with a slow, creeping chill. For 15 years, Kendra had been the warmth in my life, the sister I chose. We were a two-person institution, forged in the fires of college all-nighters and cemented by a decade and a half of shared secrets, triumphs, and heartbreaks. I was the quiet one, content in my reliable accounting job and peaceful life, while she was a supernova of energy, a constant searchlight for the next big thing. I admired her for it, her confidence and her unwavering belief that her life was a blockbuster movie and everyone else was just an extra. Looking back, I was a willing audience. I happily played the part of the supportive best friend as she embarked on what she called her business. Her social media was a whirlwind of motivational jargon, luxury travel, and expensive accessories. When I'd ask for details, the conversation would dissolve into a fog of words like wellness, financial freedom, and empowering my team. I didn't pry. She was happy, and after a difficult period in my life, her happiness was a welcome distraction. My world had been crumbling. The death of my dad plunged me into a deep, consuming depression. My relationship with my girlfriend Becca was strained and distant. I was a wreck. In therapy, battling daily anxiety, and barely holding it together. Kendra was my confidant through it all. She knew about the medication, the panic attacks, the heavy, numbing weight of it all. In one of my darkest moments, I confided a secret I'd never told anyone else, a mistake I'd made at work. I had accidentally sent confidential client information to the wrong email. I caught it quickly and reported it to my boss, who was understanding and impressed by my honesty. But for weeks, a cold, sharp fear sat in the pit of my stomach. Kendra listened, her voice soft and reassuring. She promised me my secret was safe with her. I believed her completely. The change began so subtly, I almost didn't notice. The atmosphere in my friend group shifted. Conversations would stop when I entered the room. Invitations to group hangouts simply stopped coming. My coworker, Melissa, a kind and friendly person, began avoiding me altogether. My anxiety whispered that I was being paranoid, that it was all in my head. Then Derek pulled me aside at a group dinner. His face was a knot of discomfort as he asked if I was okay financially, mentioning that he'd heard I was having work problems. The blood in my veins turned to ice. Only one person knew about my work mistake and the stress it had caused. Only one person. When I confronted Kendra, she was a master of denial. Her eyes widened in feigned shock. "What? No, of course not. Why would you think that?" she said, her voice dripping with practiced indignation. "Maybe it's office gossip." I wanted to believe her, needed to believe her, and so I did. But the lies continued to unravel my life. Becca broke up with me, citing rumors she'd heard about my character, that I was financially unstable and hiding things from her. The fragments of truth were starting to form a grim picture, but I still couldn't bring myself to see it clearly. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place from the most unlikely source. My neighbor's daughter, Riley, who worked at the coffee shop where Kendra held her weekly business meetings. Riley approached me with a hesitant, apologetic look. She had overheard Kendra talking to her upline about me. Kendra was mocking me, laughing about my mental breakdown at work, describing me as unstable. She'd told them I was broke and desperate, and that's why I wouldn't join her business opportunity. Riley's voice was quiet as she continued. She also said some really nasty stuff about your ex, about your dad's death, and about your therapy. I'm sorry, but I thought you should know. The blow was physical. The person I had trusted with my deepest pain had weaponized it, turning my most vulnerable moments into a punchline for a group of strangers. That night, I couldn't sleep. The memories of her comforting words were now poisoned by the venom of her betrayal. I had to know why. I decided to do my own digging into Kendra's successful business. It didn't take long to uncover the truth. She was involved in a multi-level marketing scheme, a pyramid of overpriced wellness products and impossible sales quotas. The more I researched, the clearer her motive became. She had been systematically destroying my reputation, painting me as a desperate failure. Because she needed me to be a desperate failure. She wanted me to be vulnerable enough to join her downline and become another source of revenue for her increasingly desperate business. I found her social media profiles, her team's public chats, even her income claims. They were all hollow and exaggerated. The expensive car was a company lease with absurd requirements. The luxurious trips were not rewards, but self-funded obligations. Her six-figure income was gross revenue, and after expenses, she was hemorrhaging money. The woman who had been spreading rumors about my financial instability was secretly drowning in debt herself. Her 30th birthday party was 2 weeks away, a celebratory gathering of everyone she had poisoned against me. Part of me wanted to simply walk away, to cut her out of my life and move on. But she had taken my trust and used it as a weapon to attack me, and I couldn't let her get away with it. I spent those 2 weeks preparing. I printed out screenshots of her company's income disclosure statements, which showed that 97% of participants lose money. I found testimonials from former team members who had lost thousands of dollars. I even contacted a few of her former downline members who were willing to share their stories. The night of the party, I walked into her apartment, a folder full of evidence clutched in my hand. The room was buzzing with people I had known for years, people who had been treating me like a ghost. When I walked in, conversations died down. Kendra, ever the actress, came over with a fake plastered-on smile. "I'm so glad you came. We need to talk," she said. "Not now," she said. "It's my party." "Actually, I think everyone should hear this," I said, walking to the center of the room. A hush fell over the crowd. "I want to thank Kendra for teaching me an important lesson about friendship," I began, my voice clear and steady. "She's shown me how someone can smile to your face while stabbing you in the back." Kendra's face went white. "What are you doing?" she hissed. "I'm telling the truth for once," I said. "Kendra has been spreading lies about me for months, telling people I'm mentally unstable, financially desperate, that I almost got fired from my job. She shared my private struggles with depression and anxiety as gossip for her MLM friends." The room was silent. People were staring, looking from me to Kendra, their faces a mixture of confusion and shock. "But here's what's really interesting," I continued, pulling out my folder. "Kendra has been painting me as financially unstable while she's drowning in debt from her pyramid scheme." I began to read from the documents, revealing the truth about her failing business. The car was a lease, the trips were self-funded, and her income claims were a complete fabrication. She was trying to interrupt, but I kept going. "She's been spreading lies about me because she needed me to be desperate enough to join her downline. She weaponized my trust, my mental health struggles, and my private pain to try to recruit me into the same scheme that's been bleeding her dry." I looked directly at her. "You took the worst moments of my life, things I shared with you in confidence during my darkest times, and you turned them into party conversation. You laughed about my dad's death, mocked my therapy, and spread lies about my relationship, all so you could feel better about your own failures." The silence in the room was deafening. Kendra, cornered and exposed, finally dropped the act. "You're just jealous because I'm actually trying to build something while you're stuck in your boring job. You're exactly as pathetic as I said you were." There it was, the confession. Derek was the first to speak. "So you did spread those rumors about him." The party fell apart pretty quickly after that. People left, some stopping to apologize to me, others just looking disgusted. A few asked for the information I'd brought about the MLM, saying they had been considering joining her team. Kendra tried to salvage the situation, but the damage was done. Her lies were exposed, her business was a sham, and her true character was on full display. 3 months later, my life is completely different. My real friends have apologized and welcomed me back. Derek and Michelle in particular have become closer friends than ever. Becca reached out and we talked, though we both agreed that our relationship had other issues beyond Kendra's interference. The anxiety that had been plaguing me for months evaporated once the truth came out. I heard through mutual friends that Kendra left the MLM buried in about $15,000 in debt. Her upline abandoned her, and she moved back to her hometown. She blocked me on all social media, and I haven't heard from her since. Looking back, I don't regret exposing her. She had systematically and cruelly destroyed my reputation, and I had simply given her the same treatment, but with facts instead of lies. The experience taught me a valuable lesson about trust, boundaries, and the importance of standing up for yourself. Sometimes, the people closest to you are the ones who can hurt you the most, but that doesn't mean you have to suffer in silence. Trust is a fragile thing, and once it's shattered, some betrayals are too deep, too calculated, and too cruel to forgive. The best thing you can do is let people see the truth.